I just want to read a little bit before we really get into it. Talks about find the hurt and heal it, find the void and fill it, find the problem and solve it. Establish a new set of criteria for our As-Sabiqun recruits. It must be understood that although we have been inspired by past Islamic movements here in the U.S., we are now navigating through uncharted territory with unconventional methods which have never been seen in the history of movements. We've been in a new arena for a long time. We'll just try to keep going instead of going back. In the U.S., as we recruit new members and supporters, there are some things to be kept in mind. Our experience is an asset. Recruits must learn about and understand our history and experience. Recruits must understand the implications of the air war, which we are engaged in. Recruits will be provided with certain materials to study and review. The struggle of the Islamic movement teaches those involved how to grow and improve. Those who truly develop a taste for this struggle enjoy an optimistic life outlook. They view challenges as opportunities. I'm going to skip a little bit. A large part of our work at this time is to counter the Zionist global terror network, because that's what we'll be dealing with a little bit. This is not a new struggle. We've been in this. We've been knowing what our struggle, the basis of it, for decades. But we had to arrange some things to allow everybody to play their part, to do what they do, and to be as they are, and for them to get comfortable doing what they're doing. Have you noticed the Zionists kill Palestinians, bomb and slaughter, and they're comfortable with it? Right? I mean, they don't feel like, you don't see any feeling of sadness or discomfort, or even if they ran over an animal in the street, they would stop their car and go back and look at it, see what happened. Even they slaughter Palestinians. There's no problem. They instigate the world. What's happening in Yemen? Saudi Arabia. Who are these? These are non-humans. Or they have a human face, but they're satanic in their behavior. I mean, real satanic. You have to be pretty mean to starve little babies where their arms is like your fingers. You have to be, you have to be different. There has to be that second stage of growth where you become a human being. Nafs lawama, where you become conscious. You develop a conscious. You don't win all the time on your conscious. You have a conscious, but that don't mean you win all the time. You don't get to be a straight record of wins till you get to nafs al-mutmainah. When you, nafs lawama, when you become conscious, self-accusing spirit, that means something in you puts a check on your behavior to remind you. That's what it is. Right? The Zionists, they're not being reminded by themselves. In fact, they're going out of the way. In fact, we would go so far as to say is exactly the program that Adolf Hitler had for them, Zionists, they practice exactly the same thing. right? If you attack one Zionist, they'll kill 200 of you. Yeah, that's what Nazis did. Nazis in occupation, whether it was Poland, wherever it was, if you kill one Nazi, they'll roll on you. They'll line up everybody on the wall and shoot them. This is the behavior of a non-conscious being. We could just call it some kind of being. They're being, but they're not human beings because they're human being in form, in voice, in appearance. But a human being, you become human when you're dealing with nafs samara. You're just an animal like all other animals. I want it hot in the winter and I want it cool in the summer. I want my nafs to be, right? I want it like that. When you reach the point of nafs lawama, that's when you become conscious of right and wrong. You don't always win the struggle, but you are reminded of what's right and what's wrong. You are now a conscious human being. What kind of consciousness do Saudis have? Right? What type of conscious does the Zionist, not the Jewish Zionist, we make it clear, Zionist. Because, well, you've heard the Zionists, the Jews, the fur hat wearers, and you've read some of their literature. Boy, when they talk about them guys, it's like murderers and thieves. And they hijacked. Hey man, they talk, it's personal. They hijacked the religion. And the stuff they say, those swine eaters, they talk about, I said, man, I ain't gonna talk about them like that because then I sound racist, you know what I mean? But they, good God Almighty. Anyway, let's get on where we're going. This is not a conspiracy, but reality. In the Islamic struggle, we must be ready to rise to the level necessary to achieve our goals. Be prepared to sleep under a bridge. We are deliberately setting up an environment in which each member or supporter will keep an eye on everyone around the leadership. No one will be spared. Those who wish to contribute must be willing to work in this environment of suspicion and mistrust, or don't work. This is a trap right here. I hope nobody's ever experienced this because we've never practiced it here. What I mean is, we never treated nobody like, what you up to, man? Who sent you here? Right? But that's what we told, that's what we got right here. This is way up in 2010. We way into psychological manipulation. We 30 years into it or more of setting them up. Because everything we have done over the decades, we have set them up. And this is a period of reaping the benefits of the last stage of us setting them up to behave a certain way, right? Remember, we don't have little or nothing. Nobody's coming by and waving at us and stuff. They're paying attention back in the corner, but they don't want nobody to know. We ain't paying no attention to Imam Musa and them, and all them brothers over there, they can go to hell. We don't care nothing about them. No, Lord. They want to make people know that, And people that were here, they found some reason to disappear. They pack up and they gone. You never see us go chasing after them. What did we do? Man, what did we do wrong? We know we haven't done nothing wrong. Because we repeat this redundancy of repetition over and over and over and over again. It's a wonderful thing. So, okay. Play a role in the Earth Liberation Movement. Strategic management under conditions of repression. Psychological guerrilla warfare. Harass, disturb, and produce imbalance and arrogance so as to accelerate the decline of the West. It's not that we're guessing, and we're definitely not wrong. If this is 10 or 12 years old right here, or a little more, harass them, make fun of them, destabilize them psychologically, for a purposeful decline. So that don't mean they're going to know where it's coming from, right? But all these things we talk about, the behavior of the West, okay, if it was a few years ago, if they was in Iraq, and we love everybody in Iraq, and all of a sudden they pack up and they gotta go, and they leave Iraq. They leave a few people there, but they gone after destroying the whole country. 2003 all the way up to a few years ago. Roadside bombs, IUDs, and all that. Do you remember seeing any films of how fast they used to drive? They would look like they're going 85 or 90. So if the bomb blasts go off, it'll just get the back of them or something like that. Man, I'm telling you. Okay, now us, as a group of people, we have to weigh and measure the things in our environment, and we have to use guerrilla warfare is when you use the things in your environment. And the environment is totally against us. Everything, the society is not, but what's in everybody else's possession. If we got one, they got 99 things. You know what I mean? Therefore, we have to use that one. And we could use that one, and we're accurate, and we're constant, and we repeat repetitive, we do it over and over again. Eventually, we're going to wear them down, but they think they're going to wear us down. And we have to depend on that. Because remember, what do we always talk about? We got enough for 500 rounds. We got enough. That's big boss man. But boss man is not used to long-range fights. Why? Because he beats everybody else up. When he get into anything long-range, he gets sad and discombobulated. The Korean War was only 3 years, and it run him crazy. And they didn't even sign a peace treaty. They said goodbye. That's just 3 years. Even the wars in Europe, when he got big in World War II, he was over here 3,000 miles. No bombs ever dropped on America. A couple of atmospheric bombs from Japan that they used to send up in them balloons, they dropped in Oregon out in the woods somewhere. But they never sustained, America never sustained systematic bombing like B-17s, B-29s all day long. They never sustained those V-2 rockets. So over here, they could train and develop from their resource base, and they could send everybody over there, and all of that was destroyed. So America is never, he might have been the heavyweight champion, but he ain't never had to fight nobody. When he fought the Indians, what chance did they ever have? Realistically. When he come into World War I, everybody's tired. 1914 to 1917, everybody is tired. He comes in 1917, 1918, war's over, right? World War II even. The Japanese was fighting the Chinese back in 1931, and then named Manchuria, Manchukuo, and then rape of Nanking, 1937. So now you're talking about when China has been fighting all along, but they didn't had 20 years of tussling by the time World War II, technically. Well, 10, 15 years. But they hold on and they make it, and they have their long march and they do what they. But the United States didn't do that. Remember in Vietnam, just let's say 63 or 64 to 67, they didn't tire. Hey man, this is tough. You know what I mean? And then they had 500,000 people over there. Now they only lost 58,000 people, that's what they say. But for them, that's a lot of people. Anarchy in the States. Blacks not wanting to go, whites not wanting to go. It's a rich man, a poor man's war, right? But it affected him so much he had to go off the gold standard. And they've never been healed from that. Neither as Agent Orange, the Vietnam vets and all of that, right? Hey, they still, when they have what was Rolling Thunder and all that, the Vietnam vets are kind of like my age, you know, in the mid-70s. Well, I would have been, if I'd have been dumb enough to go, I would have went, it ain't possible. I never would have went to that thing. Although I was going to join the Army when I was 17, thank God I went to the penitentiary instead. Man, that was a break. Okay. Psychological guerrilla warfare. Harass, disturb, and produce imbalance and arrogance so as to accelerate the decline of the West. Okay, just look at it. Whether we take Donald Trump, and remember we was watching Don, and it was just hilarious, because Don would step on all of the Bushes and all them people and talk about them, all you weak, low energy Bush, you know, all that stuff. He would talk about them bad. And just remember now, we said at first, somebody raised him up to destroy the Republican Party. And he's done that. No matter what they vote, it don't make no difference. He's also destroyed the credibility of the United States of America. Okay? Therefore, he's been very successful, but he's made two bums, elevated them where he should have dropped them. That's Saudi Arabia and the Zionist state. And right now, the administration that they have now, Biden administration, cannot make peace with the Iranians because of what that guy did. So they have to sneak and do it. Weaken their will and destroy their attitude and everything. The people ran out of Afghanistan. It's clear that it's what they did. You know, like we tell all the Negroes here, don't trust boss man, he gonna dump you. Look at the Afghan government. Who dumped who? Boss man dumped him and got the people in worse shape than the Vietnamese. Remember the Vietnamese was holding on to them helicopters in 75? It was despicable. We worked for you, boss man. We helped you. We snitched on everybody. We got to go. Hey, man, goodbye. Look at Don now. Look what he did in Iraq a few years ago, but look today with those poor Afghanis that believed him. And they making it like, well, we got to get the paperwork together. We gonna, hey, man, you know the people who got their names and addresses that work for you? Load them on a boat and bring them on over. They don't want them. They just, they done lied to them. They done lied to them royally, and that's the same way they did the Negro. We'll get to that a little later. Never trust Boston. We tell everybody, I guess people think, well, we might think they're crazy, but they think that something is wrong with us because we tell them this stuff in detail. We tell everybody in detail, oh, my goodness. Oh, boss man speak with a forked tongue. It ain't us, said the Indian said that the man, that's what he do. He don't have any other program than that. He picked up and ran out, and the deal, why he doesn't have the Afghanis there, the other brothers, his so-called friends, because he's working a deal to stab his so-called friends in the back. It's clear, because he says goodbye, everybody. Now they're in Bagram Air Force Base. They just got everything. They said goodbye, and they gone. And the people are standing there holding their children saying, well, what about us and our babies? That's not technically funny, but it's mean. You're going to leave them people behind like you did everything else, everybody else. Boss man going to leave you behind. You think he's going to jump off when it's time for people to get drowned? He's going to say, well, I've been here a long time. I'm going to jump in the ocean and drown. No, he's going to look around for who he's going to throw overboard, right? He does that. Yeah, we feel sad for the people, but we done told them we don't have any power, any authority to chase people down and tell them this is what about. Well, we do the best we can right here. We can tell them. And then the people here, they think, I'll get to some of the people here a little later. Okay. Motion to exclude Secretary of State's filings is unreliable. The thing about Secretary of State that, the paperwork that we have, it says Evidence Code 1530, they contain unreliable hearsay. Any person can simply fill out the statement of information form and submit it for filing to the Secretary of State. That's just something from the trial that we was having in Oakland. A supplementary report notes that Reams Sr. was belligerent and confrontational on the scene. When family members of Mr. Mujahid entered the building, Reams followed them inside, yelling at them that they were not allowed inside. Police asked Mr. Reams Sr. to stay on the sidewalk. Okay, ultimately they put me in the car, the police car. They're going in our building, and they put me in the police car. They come down at Juma, after the Juma, I'm serving food like I do here. They said they shot the dogs down there. They want me to come down there. Mr. Mujahid's gun charges were subsequently reduced to misdemeanors. The animal cruelty charge, shot 2 dogs, was dismissed. You think white folks are going to dismiss a charge? You shooting dogs? And then it's a long trial. The trial, they stated that he said, and what, you open the door to go into the nursery and the dogs were there? Yes. So why didn't you just close the door? And then he said, after you shot the dogs, you walked through the building? And then what about the bullet holes in the screen? Then the officer said, yeah, we discovered 3 bullet holes in the screen. And he shot in the inside it with 3 more shots to make sure they were dead. Okay. Da-da-da-da. The undersigned being sworn says on information, Clarence Reams did not or did in the county of Alameda, about November 17, 2017, commit a misdemeanor 602. That is refusing to leave private property. I'm not going to show you the deed, but everybody knows even today everything's in my name. That undersigned sworn information believed Clarence Reams did in the county of Alameda. Okay, that's the same one as before. Psychological guerrilla warfare, right? That's been our theme. Now I'll draw all of that together and explain what we're up to today. That from here, we call this the 3rd stage of guerrilla warfare, psychological guerrilla warfare. So we're setting up a counter-Zionist research project. Counter-Zionist research project. That's what that building is about, and we'll use the other for something associated with that. In other words, the property that we have now is not money-making property because we're in another phase. The phase that we're in right now is we're not on the defensive, we're on the offensive. But we've always been on a strategic defense. Strategic defense is when your strategy, for us, your strategy is so well put together that wherever you manipulate the enemy to go, they're there in relationship to your leading and guiding them and baiting them to go that way. Their position to them may seem advantageous, but you are manipulating them to go in a position, and that position is advantageous to you and a disadvantage to them. You can see it everywhere. We just mentioned Afghanistan, right? We mentioned Vietnam. We mentioned 1975 when they were on the top of U.S. embassies. We mentioned Iraq, right? And also we mentioned right now, this very minute in Afghanistan after 20 years, good God Almighty, 20 years, after dropping the biggest sub-nuclear bomb in history, a daisy cutter, on the Afghan people, they're still rolling right along. The people told them like we told them about us. Ain't nobody worried about you, boss man. You can throw all the punches you want. We ain't going nowhere. We haven't went nowhere. We don't have scars. We don't have scar tissue. Nor do we have paranoia. We trapped them with paranoia by what we wrote. That you got to keep an eye on everybody. That means we're going to be going around like this. Who you? What you doing here? Why you say that? What you trying to do to us, right? You haven't picked up none of that. At least, well, I don't think. I don't think that we have put any of that out. You know why? Because ain't none of it in us. It's not in us. That's to trap them. And guess what? They got trapped so bad. I'll talk about it a little later. But they have some things on this phone about what we said and what we did. Right? I don't know if you ever seen any of it, but you sent it all to me. Imagine. We're sitting here. Here I am now with a T-shirt on. And they run that for a minute. The next one, right along with that, I got an overcoat this winter. Right? The next time I got on, every time in a 7-minute video, I got 3 or 4 things on. You ever notice that?
I haven't watched the full one. Yeah, I might see like the first maybe 20 seconds.
Okay, but right. Anytime you watch them, you will see that here I am, right? And you watch a little bit, and I'm wearing something different. And they're playing, Imam Musa said this. Yeah, we da 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 da. And then it cuts off. And then something else comes in. That's what I'm saying is that you don't see, they don't show anything where they show this is what I said and this is what I meant. They don't do that. Okay, that's part of the trap. That is the trap. Let them trap themselves. Let them trap themselves. Make them make a fool. Because as soon as you mention it, you say, that's what I said? Well, what did I have on when I said that? Got a whole winter garb on, right? Then next thing, I say something else similar to that. I'm wearing a T-shirt in the summer. Then sometime I'm wearing, whatever it is, you're going to see me in 3 or 4 different outfits. You'll never see me talking from one to the other, and that's it. It don't go like that. It's simple, but that's a trap. That's a trap for them. Now they've already put that out for everybody to see. I don't have to argue with them. I said it's incorrect, inconclusive, and I'm not going to argue with you about it. Because I'm wearing this day, that the next day. There's none that's not. I got to have 3 outfits. If they're about 7 minutes each, I got to have a different outfit every 2 minutes. It's different. They load it up, then they stop it. When I say the police came and they did this, and they inaugurated this, and they managed this, they don't say that we trapped the police into doing that in the 1960s, late 68, 69, 70. They don't say that part, but that's what I said here. You know what I mean? That's what we said here. They don't say that. They said it like, if I say, yeah, and the police did this, and we did that. Yeah, we did that, but we did that in association with the other part of the lecture, and they just play part of it. We can't lose. Okay? Remember longevity. The other thing to remember is that the United States nor its agents have a long distance program. It's long for niggas. It's long for niggas because of who's going to last over 4 or 5 years? You see so-and-so and them is big. They got a big gang. They got all that. Da, 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 da. They're rolling. They wrap it up and then they're gone. Right? Nobody carries it out over 10, 15, 20 years. Nobody black does that to the government. A few mafia people, but they don't last that long. Not that long. And now hardly nobody lasts that long. They began to develop a George Foreman approach to attacks. George Foreman was a big, strong guy. And Muhammad Ali knew it. So he played with him all the way to the 8th round. Then, by the time, and there he is. Remember, round 6 and 7, big old George just punching. You can see he's already gone. So when Muhammad steps to the side and he wobbles around in a big blundering fall. That's boss man. That's the way we're not doing boss man like that. We've already done that to him. We done made a fool out of him in front of everybody. All the tapes we have, it's all there. We have controlled and managed this thing in detail for years because we've never been into short range. And he's not a long range. To other people, it seemed like he got a long range program, but that's because they short range, they're sprinters, right? They're not long movement, a movement from way back up to this stage after stage after stage. When to move forward, when to take a rest, when to do all. Other people are not used to that. We do it right here in front of everybody. We're just working on the house, ready to do something. Well, I said we'll do it next year. Whenever we get ready. And we cruise. And I heard some people talking this, and I was telling them today. I said, no, I'm running again. I ain't, we seem like you just get. I said, oh, no. I said, I go out on the trail, and I said, he was walking. I said, but now, half of the distance, I'm technically running. It might be a little old jog, you know what I mean? But it still gets your wind up and you're getting in shape, you know what I mean? That's because that's what we're doing now. That's what we're doing now. So they thinking we got the nigga. Why? The niggas resting all day, reading books, not taking a lot of notes, but you are. And he's watching exactly what you do. I'm telling you, boss man, you can feel he's watching each and everything you do. And you just rolling on him, just laying out. Boy, I tell you. The other thing too, like we said, you have to have fun. Everybody looks at what goes on here and they would say, I wouldn't want to be involved. I wouldn't want that to be happening to me. Well, I want it to be happening to me. This is what I want. If I didn't want it, I wouldn't do it, right? Nobody makes me do this stuff. I want to do it. I want to have, the movement calls for it. There's nobody, you don't look around, you don't find people, no matter, I don't care how bad the climate gets, but you don't find Negroes saying, okay, that's enough, right? We got to stop. Okay. We have to get our environment to that point to where we say, okay, we're not trusting you with our wives and children and families and the environment. You're losing 1,000 species or whatever a day or something. We know the numbers they have. You're not a caretaker. You ain't no Khalifa. You're a bum. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. I mean, real life, you're an idiot. How could I say it? The people are idiots. I mean, they won't. Hey, okay, you can kill yourself, but I'm going to resist you killing me and people I like. Yeah. And the world. Allah put this perfect specimen here of a world, a living world, and this bum going to try to finish it off. Anyway, so the people in general will be abandoned by the United States government. They will abandon, they have abandoned, and they are going to abandon. literally everybody. And that's their reputation right now. That's the general conditions of U.S. policy. So therefore, we have to inaugurate our own teams of people. Yeah, like right now, I mean, as of today, tomorrow, the near future, we're off into this already because we done finished that stage that we were in. Well, it's been a while. We've been stepping into this for quite a while. So therefore, that's why we've known that we have to get around and talk to people and take their literature and learn some more details about environment, right? But there's environmentalists that would enjoy coming over in the black neighborhood and giving a talk to us, right? About the environment. And we will invite others to come, and then they will hear what we got to say. They're going to say what they always say, just like the Arabs and the Persians will say, how can a nigga think like that? Because you're going to be out in front of them. Because we didn't just get here, right, on this subject. You can't do everything, so don't, you know what I'm saying? Anybody that tries that, they're going to be a huge failure. So we have our 5 or 6 or even 4 or 5 things we're going to focus on. The environment is one. The human potential movement is the other. Call it the Islamic movement. But we don't have to, we can deal with the human potential that we want to invite humanity to da-da-da-da-da. But what we want to invite them to is fixing the earth and the world that Allah gave us. That's all we want to do, right? Hey, man. What was that now? Man. And they just rolling like it ain't nothing. So when we talk about research teams, that's where we're coming from. That means back to work, back to copying, back to doing all these kind of things, except on another level. Remember, when we stopped this 10 years ago, we have evolved a lot now. Our writings will not be the same. You'll be able to see right away. You'll be able to see the connection, but the evolution. See, because that's always been our thing. Not always, but in the last 25 years, it's been evolution over revolution. In the earlier years, we're going to overthrow, we're going to do the Islamic revolution and da-da-da-da-da. Evolution. We say it in our writings. Evolution over revolution. Both of them have to do with change, but revolution is a sudden dynamic change. And evolution is according to time, place, and circumstance, but it happens in such a way that you don't even feel it sometime. You look up and you look back and you say, man, we're in a different place than we was back then. That's evolution. Okay. In other words, we've been thinking, we've been focused on what we do. We didn't just look up and get here. It don't make no difference what nobody thinks. It's all been a thought process. When Trump pumped on the scene, we just said, look like somebody hired Trump. All we had to do was wait a few months, a couple of years, and it'll be there. That's who it back. His behavior will show you, right? Who hired him? You'll see his connection with the Zionists, right? It's clear. Who got him there, who? And you'll see the thing that the American people is going to see about us is that we're American as apple cobbler, apple pie. Yeah, because they won't be able to decipher the difference between what we're talking about as evolution and doing good deeds and involved in aiding the society, right? To be better, right? That's the language. We've been using that, and we're going to really be using it. So Trump was hired to bring America down. No way, no way, no way. See, it's not just us, it's the system itself. How many Capitol Police retired in the last few? Tons of them. Is anybody, they've retired and quit Capitol Police. Why? Because they were treated like niggas, right? You know, now they got all them uniforms on and stuff, and they out there tussling all, like, see, people don't know how long a 3-minute tussle is, right? Don't get up into a half hour where you tussling and doing this and you everybody hovering. Hey man, right? Because they're the wrong color. They would have, that would have been the OK Corral plus 10,000. If anybody would have started firing guns, we saw the white folks. You could see right there under their thing. My whole family said, Dad, them people is armed. I said, that's right. They armed. They knew better. That's why they'll shoot Negroes. The Negro lady and the little baby in the back, they'll shoot her. Why not? She's not armed, defenseless. Them crackers. But look what it does to American stability, American justice, American everything. America is non-existent as far as that idea of what it used to be. That don't exist anymore. Nobody's even looking for it. Okay, we'll speed up. Let's jump ahead. Flip the script. Defense to offense. Okay, phase one, we've already talked about. We'll just breeze through it. Join up. Participate in the system. Get in the system to help defend your wives and your children and your family. And to get a job, because there won't be much jobs. When you see what's going on right now, the capital done exploded. Remember when you came here, it was only 500,000 people here. It's more like 800,000. The city has exploded. For the first 20 years I was here, wasn't nothing going on. Then, bam, when the society is ready to implode, everybody start heading to the capital. Remember the saying, all roads lead to Rome? That wasn't at the early part. That was at the end of the Roman Empire. All roads lead to Rome because everybody is headed for security, jobs. Okay. So we're going to focus on Zionist control of the world. And also tease the Zionist. It's not we will tease them, we tease them right now. Because Zionists are like Americans except worse. You can tell Netanyahu and his crew don't like you teasing them and messing with them. They don't like that. They get mad. But what happens if you're fighting somebody If you tease them and they start hitting you in the wrong places, they'll be to knock you out. But if you tease them, you'll throw them off of their game. The Zionists cannot fight us so far. They haven't won one single encounter with us. From Davis, 1985, from UC Berkeley, 1990, from the Zionists at UCLA, right? From Davis again with the rabbis, from the demonstrations we had where we would allow them to take pictures of us. We knew they were Zionists. They're holding this camera and saying, no, go ahead. Why? Because they'll have to come out like the Hannity thing. The people came out and they told the FBI, they showed them a video of me saying, burn America down. But that's where they made the mistake. We were saying, all you got to do, just like Mukhtar's and them old dumb stuff, right? Just go in the front part. It says, we used to say, if you don't straighten up, you don't do this, we're going to burn America down. That's what they said, right? That's not what we say in 2009. In fact, that 2009, that was 2 days before 9/11. We were stuck out there in California for a long time. But we raised $100,000 for Imam Jamil, or somewhere up in that. So we're proud of what we've been doing, okay. And we don't have to worry, so we need a little money. We'll get it. We always have. How can we be here, like, say, 40 years, and we need a little money for a change? So what? Do you trust in Allah? Allah rolled you along all this time for 40-something years. Now you're going to panic? Absolutely not. Not us. See, we whooping the Zionists behind, and they know it. We slapping them upside the head just to be a Negro talking out the side of our mouth to them. Suppose that catch on. It is catching on. Look in Palestine. The brother said, that's it, we're going to just, so we'll get a lot of us slaughtered, but we're going to load up with missiles. What happened? They started, and they wasn't even guided this last time. Wait till the next time. When they be computer controlled, you know what I mean? Whatever, low tech against the highest tech, they're fixing to hit them. That's the way the world is coming. What we have to understand is the world is going the way that we are preparing for. Why? Because it always has been. Everything we said then came out. You see what I mean? Everything we have ever talked about is coming out. Okay, now. I don't want to talk about them people, but I will mention while we're here. Psychological warfare on various stages. You got to imagine how they're looking at this. They're getting a public ASS kicking from us. This is the way I look at it. They're getting a public butt kicking. The Zionists, we've never lost a fight. It's like, remember I was talking about Ken Norton the other day. He had Muhammad Ali's number, but he couldn't whoop nobody. He just had Muhammad Ali's number. We got the Zionist number. We got it, and we know it. It's all over. We got his number. We got his reach. You know what I mean? And that's the way that is. Nobody else has it. Everybody is getting close And our team, the suffering going on in Yemen, unbelievable. The suffering that Iran has put up with for all of these years. The suffering and the explosions of Lebanon and Syria destroyed. And all our people is holding on. Boy, that is some. In Palestine, hey man, our team is holding on. Our team has held on. Things is getting ready to flip. Okay, that's why we're in a different phase. That's why we're not renting that property out because we got to do something. We're not renting that out. We are going to do such and such and such because that's what's needed at this time. And that's during the first stage. That means this Imam Tufail command center, that's that first stage, not 3 years from now. This right around the corner. Because that's our job. Our job is different than what we was doing before was just practicing, running around. But now we heading for the big time because our ideas have proven and we're going to take them on out. And we're going to take them because that's our job to take them. And it's our time to take it. As technically nothing they can do about it. Nothing they can do about it. They can be mad. They can be, anything they do is going to enhance what we're going. Okay. I'm not going to talk about the white shoe wearing Arabs in Oakland and what they did. White shoe wearing Arabs, the stuff that some of you might have saw on video. We wanted that to happen. I think we mentioned it here a few times. They are bum rushing the Masjid. And poor Imam Musa is there all alone. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay? You got to remember, who's going to be able to put up with that and be in a... Why? Because they got their minds set on controlling our environment, pushing us, right? Making us do what they want us to do. And we said, no, not us. Mm-mm. Might as well come on in, boss man. And who's worried about Oakland? We'll go back there when we get ready. Because they gave us the whole thing. They can't win these cases. And if they dare even think about winning, we're going to write all the books about it. And the people will say, you did that, they did that. That's illegal. That's why it's time for us to move now, because the Zionists have shown their hands and behind in everything, right? And their attitude is take no prisoners, blatant murder. The Saudis and the Zionists, they homeboys. They got the same policy, brutal murder. That's what they both done. That's what they're both doing, right? And it ain't us, but the whole world is, man, that don't look too good, right? Okay, therefore, the Zionists, all of our allies, Natura Karti, all of the other humanist Jews. See, there's a lot of Jews out there that don't go for all of this stuff too. They're humanists. They was taught it long time ago. Yeah, they was taught always go with the oppressed and all that. I mean, way back, a little manipulation. Don't worry about it. That's no problem. That's why you'll come up with NAACP, all that. That's no problem. There are some Jews, a huge number, that are humanist. And some of them are humanist because of their history. Some of them are humanists, and they don't like you don't know how many anti-Zionist Jews it is in the woodwork to start manipulating things a little bit so it'll, these dictatorships like the Zionist state of Israel, those things are so bulwarky and strong, and then they collapse right in front of you. That's where it's heading. It'll be like what it said about Babylon. In one day, it don't mean one day, physical day, but in a fast period of time, it went from being the bulwark, the strongest, most belligerent country in the world, to everybody looking at it and say, if you were so nice, then why you do this to the Palestinians? Why you do that to so-and-so? Why you tell all our leaders what to do, right? Why do we have to repay you zillions of dollars? Why can you do that? Why? Just remember, all they got to do is ask 3 or 4 why. Why this? Why that? All over. Okay. If they don't like it, what they going to do to us? We're going to slip on a banana peel and break our neck or something? Yeah. Slide off the highway? Car blow up? What? So what you going to do? We've already put the message out. It doesn't make a difference. That's the trick. Playing possum, get the message out. The message has already been put out. We've already put the message out. We've been putting it out. The Zionists, the Americans, right? The Saudis. It's not new. It's old. So all we have to do now is people start looking at it. They can't do a whole lot to us. Why? Because people will want to know, why did that poor man get killed? Right? Then they'll read your stuff that you didn't put out. It don't make no difference. Personally, I'm 76 years old. What the hell do I care? Right? And then live the good life. You know, that little time in the penitentiary. This time of doing what we're doing and we know what we're doing is not bad. Other people wouldn't want to do it. We love it. You can tell the nigga love it. Right? I mean, thrive on it. You know, can't wait to get down here and talk about it. That's what it is. Other people, you don't fight other people's fight. You fight the one Allah give you. And you can't lose. Hey. Ain't nobody worried about trying to fit into the stuff that they done made. Don't nobody want nothing they got. Okay. So everybody is laughing at them, not us. Everybody's nervous. I don't want Musa, all that old talk over there, boy. I hope we stay over there. Don't come over here. Well, I'm sorry. We're going to be over there. Yeah, we're going to be over there. You didn't have your... Just imagine, in the United States, what is the percentage of young Arabs and young Muslims that have the same Uncle Tom ideas as their older people that came here to get America? Who do they sympathize with? When they see George Floyd being pressed, do you think that they see the same picture about America as their parents? We're just glad to be here because in Pakistan you can't make but $2 a month, right? The children got $1. Look at the numbers. The law of large numbers is on our side. The law of large numbers say that the public at large is headed our way already. Yeah. and headed against Zionism. Psychological warfare, third stage. About all the other people, the people are laughing at it was years ago when Abdul Malik them could run that tit-tat stuff. When Hashim Alauddin, they'll be looking at Hashim and they'll be saying, because we're going to tell them. And guess what? We got 1,000 witnesses. Everybody at our masjid was there when Hashim talking all that gangster talk and all that super Shiism and slipping up on all the big ulama, right? Well, Hashim Alauddin, as far as we know, is the one that sent Malcolm down there to get killed, and he had bayah, right? I don't know if that's what you heard. But Malcolm, this Malcolm. Yeah, that's what I mean. He said all that. He said, my Imam is so-and-so. What he said. And he sent him right down there to get killed. What about when that stuff start soaking in? What about Abdul Malik now? Right? See, if the public perception and being isolated and cut off affected us, they would have won. They didn't have a chance because we don't care nothing about that. We don't care nothing about being accepted by nobody. You can accept it, that's too bad. You don't like it, that's too bad. We have never even acted like, remember we said, where the brothers go? Oh, they just left. And they know, oh, what happened to all the Shia brothers? Oh, they built them a place out there and I said, dog, not good riddance, but goodbye. Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye. Because it shows everybody where everybody is at. And it shows where we are. It's good for everybody to see, no. They can't be intimidated. They can't be bullied or pushed around. That's what Iran says every day on the news. You can't bully us and push it around. That's what the Yemeni people, everybody on our team, Hezbollah is saying it, and it's hurting them. They're hurting. Their economy is hurting. The people are hurting, starving, and dying. But they're holding on. They are a jewel to humanity. Hey, man, they're saying, this is the best for humanity. At this time we're living in, for America, we're with them. We're a jewel. All these butt lickers and cowards here, we're not with them. And everybody know it, right? Tell them, where would you want to be? Well, everybody's over here. Well, all the sissies, cowards, and punks are over there. So you want me to come over there with y'all? And no, absolutely not. But there ain't no but 2-3 people. The Mujahids is over here. That's where they are. They're right over here. That's the way history is. And everybody will come along as time. You see what I mean? About some of the crackpot people. You know, it was 2001 or something when we had our program, maybe 2002 when we had our program here. Right. And Khadijah beat up Karima. You remember that? Beat up Karima, a white girl, Brother Tufel's wife. And why did she beat her up? She said, you can't talk about Imam Musa like that. That's the reason Khadijah beat her up. We love Imam Musa. Did you hear what she said? Okay, right down there. That's what that's what it was about. Call anybody. The fight or the attack. Right? Because see, you got to look at what motivates. Why with Khadijah you hear about her all the time? Why she's fixated on Imam Musa? Why? Why is Mukhtar not fixated on Imam Musa? Huh? Think about it. You don't hear him calling. He's not. Why? It's off of who she is. It's also a part of a woman scorned is deadly. Scorned, neglected. If a woman hit on you, like for instance, if Khadijah hits on me for a certain time, and I say, oh no, I don't. It's not that you're a big old balloon. That's not why. It's just that I don't do that. Hell, I was celibate in Oakland for 15 years? What imam's going to do that? Tell the truth. A Negro imam is going to be 15 years celibate, running the hills, lifting weights, healthy as he can be, and don't have time for no people to do this work? They don't have people like that. They used to sit around and why? I don't see. I know you got to do something. You got to. That's what they think. Yeah, because they're materialists. Excuse the language, people. They used to say about in the street about so-and-so or people like that. They said that nigga ain't never gonna be nothing because he's too kind to his dick. In other words, he satisfies his nafs, so he can't do no pimping or nothing. He ain't gonna be nothing because he's too kind to his nafs, right? That's what they said in Jahiliyyah. I mean, the dunya, the worst of dunya, pimping. Nigga ain't gonna be nothing. He too kind to his dick. That's what they said, and that's what they meant, and that had something to do with truth. Yeah. So anyway, then why is Imam Musa? Why can't nobody sleep but calling Imam Musa all the time? It's the phone, right? Why? You wouldn't do what I wanted you to do, and therefore you wouldn't even give me the pleasure of being like a fool. Abdul Malik played it. He played it good. She loved him. Yeah, but he manipulated her. All the girls call Oakland. Khadijah beat up everybody, especially the high yellow girls, the pretty girls. She beat them all up. Call Oakland. You think I'm lying? She beat them all up. Right? And Abdul Malik manipulated her like that. He's the one that chose Khadijah to be Mukhtar's wife. Yeah. You talking about sad? It ain't sad. That's the way it is. Do you think I'm upset? It's a woman's scourge. You don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to chase you down and destroy you, because that's the way it's easy to do that to people in Jahiliyyah. It don't work on me. I didn't mess around with tenders. Of course, when I was in Jahiliyyah, but in Islam, I get the red star, the green star, all of those for celibacy. They don't do it. They don't do it. They don't do it. Let me say it again. They don't do it. They didn't do it nowhere. You want to get an argument started? You bring 3 or 4 cutie pies into a masjid on the East Coast in those days. The first thing they do is swoop on them tenders, right? And the imam, according to how many wives he got in those days, he's going to get a couple of them for himself. And if it's only 1 or 2, he's going to get them both. And that's why they sent their butt there. That's why they sent them there. That's why the non-thinking people, they never have time to even think about what this thing is built on. That's why it would never be possible. Because Now we're in Islam. If you had control of it in Jahiliyyah, imagine what you do in the Deen, right? Yeah. And then if you have all the cutie pies you want, you know what you find out? They're all the same. Doggone near. There's a dumb man. I'm going to get me this special good. She going to be... And they get married, they get home. And you buy her a new car and a house. She's sitting there crying. Why are you crying? You said you wanted a new car. That's a new car. You don't love me. You don't love me. Right? Tell the truth. You don't. Anyway, once you know that girls are girls, that's the way they are. They're nice people, but they're different. We're always taught that here. Men and women are different. If you bought your homeboy a brand new Benz, you think he would come asking you the next month, you really my friend, nigga? Right? It wouldn't sound right, right? It wouldn't. But if a woman do it, it sounds normal. Tell the truth. You done bought her a new house. A month later, do you really love me? Right? But suppose you bought a nigga, you done got hit the numbers, and you got a new Benz, and then you go, man, me and you been dogs for a long time. Let me get you one too. You think the nigga would come back and say, do you really love me, nigga? You really like me? It wouldn't, you can't even picture that, right? You can't picture it. It's be impossible. Because your act proves already, you don't have to sit there and talk about, man, I've been thinking about you and I miss you and all that crap. That stuff. Excuse me. So Khadijah, her problem, I'm just telling you now so you understand, everybody understand. Khadijah's fixation on Imam Musa has caused her downfall, caused her to be a foolish woman in front of everybody. Why is she foolish? Because she's hitting on Imam Musa. She hit on him 3 times. And if it ain't true, she was lying down there when she beat up the white girl. Why did she say she beat the white girl up? Because the white girl didn't like Imam Musa. Go drag everybody out and ask them, what did she say? She said it right down there. Okay? So the confusion, I'm sorry, dear believers. That's the way that is. And ain't nothing I can do about it. And it ain't all like all of that stuff they had in Oakland. I used to just look at it. And when it was time, family night, and I used to sleep in the back room and everybody was staying around. Oh, the poor Imam is here by herself. We all got families. So, man, y'all got to go. Y'all got to go. We would just say, y'all, if you think I'm lonely, y'all, please. Y'all the one in hot water. You got to go home with that girl, and that girl got to go home with you. Y'all the ones is miserable, not me. I don't even, when my head hit the pillow, I'm gone. That's a general rule. I don't even remember, you don't remember going, I don't even remember, you don't remember. I'm gone. 95% of the time. I'm gone with them and anything else. So I want to tell everybody, the problem with Khadijah, the reason she sits there and lie about Imam Musa and lie about this and take a video and I got 3 or 4 different outfits on one video. It's not right to sit there in front of everybody and you're lying. You got me saying one thing, right? And I'm dressed like this. Then you got the verification or reclarification. I'm in a winter coat. You know what I mean? I'm still got my winter clothes on. You can see it on that stuff. So you think that stuff is insanity. No matter what you do, I hope and I pray for you to get on our side. Because we understand you and we're going to try to help you as much as we can. But we can't help crackpots. If you and Mukhtar, if Abdul Malik got you as a wife for him, you blame Abdul Malik. Don't blame me. I didn't do it. If you're not happy with Mukhtar, if I get 60 telephone calls and 58 of them are from you, and you a woman, you ain't supposed to be, what kind of, right? This is insanity. Excuse my friend, what the hell are you doing? You're a woman, why are you calling me all the time to give me a message? Right? Why are you calling me all the time? What is wrong? Does what I'm saying make sense? Remember, all these phone calls is her calling me. Why? I told her, I said, you just like listening to my voice. You sitting there masturbating, thinking about me. That's what you're doing now. I'm 85% certain that's what she's doing. That's what crackpots do. You know what I mean? They fiendish. They do dumb stuff. So whatever I say, she want to call me and don't let me not answer. She calls back, you'll see 4 calls, 5 calls, more and more. Right? So Mukhtar, get the girl together, man. Hey, I don't want to have nothing to do with her. That's your problem. That's your problem. That's too bad. I don't know what to tell you. A woman scorned. Why is there so much drama about Imam Musa? Why would I be called thieves and all this? And all the paperwork say, I went out there with $50,000 to pay your taxes. Then I come back with another $25,000 to pay taxes. And when this part is over, I'll probably be paying another, probably up now, it's probably about $40,000 on taxes. So this time right now, I'm working to raise $150,000 right now. Because of the taxes that I have to pay on one thing out there, the taxes that will be due on y'all. Say I have to go out there and pay taxes before they sell the buildings. See, and then they'll stand in line and try to buy the building. Oh, they can't do it, but they'll do it. And then we'll have to undo it. You got to remember, no matter what they do out there, we got it covered. We want it. Because they all got us all on paper, what they done. They done arrested me 8 times on our property. Okay. And assaults. Who would assault? I'm a senior citizen. What's the purpose of assaulting someone like that? Because they thought this nigga is arrogant. He thinks he's big time, and he's not going to take that. They've been wrong every time because they're not taking into account evolution. Taskiya bil nafs, right? They're not thinking like that. They was thinking, and my family and everybody with them was thinking that he's still back in the Big Hank days, because in the Big Hank days, I said, it's good. Their behavior, the dummies, I'm telling you, they are really dumb to exclude evolution. And they think I'm in the time of 1981, 82, when I done took out a pipe and I'm beating the guys with it for messing with me in the masjid. I'd be a fool to stay. That's why I think about 86, what I said in that paper. It's perfect. This is 86. This is it. That was a big jump, big evolution. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to hurt y'all feelings, but you got to get up on you grown, you acting grown, you talking grown. So if you can't take this little old chit chat, then you mess with somebody else. I try to be as kind as possible, but number one, I ain't scared of none of y'all. And number two, I ain't scared of boss man. Number three, I'm not afraid of the Zionist. And number four, I love everything that Allah done sent me. And I'm not despondent about nothing. I'm just telling you. You could see it in the behavior around here. Take the heart thing, see how much whatever. Do anything you want. Okay, I just wanted to mention that part because this is important. Now, as we move into evolution, we're going into another stage. This is so important that everybody's life possibly depends on this next stage. Can anybody see what I'm talking about? The climate, we got to fix it soon. It's not possible. It is possible, but it's not technically possible for it to go a long time like this. It's just not likely. Okay? The political environment, the social environment, when a country falls apart, it's violence and destabilization. You got to have your people. Why the heck you're not telling people about this stuff? You talk about the people and we so bad. Why you not telling them nothing? Maybe you don't know nothing. Maybe that's probably why they're not telling. Hell, they don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. You can't be sitting here watching all this stuff and we're telling you every week and then you go stick your finger in your behind like nothing is happening. You can't do that. Stand on the line, basically make a super confession. It'll be easier for you. I've been a damn fool. My wife has been a damn fool. And anybody, y'all that believed us, you're a damn fool. Now we want to help Imam Musa collect a world of people to do some good. And what y'all to do? That's what we're going to do. And remember, that's what we're going to do with Allah's help. You got to realize where we are. You're in the wrong place if you think we're where we are. No, that's not where we are. That ain't where we are at all. We're at the center of events. And don't act like you think they can fool a nigga thinking that ain't nobody paying attention to us and everybody in the world is paying attention, right? Are you that stupid? Right? They think that, no, it ain't like that. And for Allah to help us makes us love others more. We love you. We want good for you. I told y'all that, and I'll close, in 2014. And I told you sitting in the front of the Masjid that, hey, this stuff is going deep. And I'm going to help y'all. I told them that, asked them. I told them that. Both of them were sitting there in the front of the Masjid. Because they have their mind. You take all of those people there, Abdul Malik, Hashim, them, their mind is behind boss man. If boss man's a damn fool, that means they are way behind. If boss man is effing up the world like he's doing, right, and missing every pitch, striking out every time, boss man ain't hit the ball in 80 years. Since World War II. He ain't a pitch since World War II. 75, 76 years ago. He haven't hit a pitch. He struck out every time. Struck out in Korea, struck out in Vietnam, struck out in Iraq, struck out with Iran. They put so much pressure on Iran for the last 40-something years, and it's still there. You can say what you want. That's bad. That's why I want to get over there in a hurry and tell them how good they're doing before they start getting stupid like the people in Cuba and rioting, right? And think, we don't have nothing. I got to get over there and tell them because I ain't been there in a while. So anyway, I'll close with, you got to get control of not envying other people and looking, like you look at them light-skinned girl, I'm talking to Khadijah, and you think they're happy. Them is a, you ever, tell the truth, just between us, them, some of them high yellow, green-eyed looking girls and all that, crackpots. You'll find, tell the truth, you'll find more crackpots because they're like these beautiful white women that, since I look like this and people treat them like they look and they don't feel like that, they having psychological problems. They want to be just a girl next door, just to this, that, and other, and you're treating her like a queen and she don't feel like a queen, right? And the dumpy girl, you treating her like a dog, she don't feel like a dog, right? You're not what you look like. You are what you are. Yeah. So you got to, the best way I can put it is you guys are like juveniles, I don't want to say it. Y'all are juvenile delinquents. Everybody, Abdul Malik, Hashim, all of y'all are juvenile. I'm just saying from where I see it. Maybe I done run across more game than y'all. But none of y'all would have been, none of you could have existed in the first stage of that game back there. I'm talking about 50 years ago, you couldn't do it. And Abdul Malik telling me, you got to be like a pimp when you're thinking about women. The nigga's reading Iceberg Slim. You ever know about Iceberg Slim? Nigga, he's reading, I said, you could tell the book. And this is in the Masjid, and he's telling me, I ain't never said, I said I was sitting right here. You said those things. Because he thought that's what I would be thinking, because he didn't heard about it. Yeah, you got to think like a pimp and stuff like that. This nigga's stupid. He never changed. That's why he got whooped so bad with them girls. You talking about Halle Berry, not Halle Berry, whatever. That girl whooped him so bad, I don't know if you heard about it. She broke his back because he's a little player, this, that, and other. And that's the thing, is you get hold to one you like, and she stuck that knife in him and twisted it on the nigga. And I said, that's what you deserve that because you did that. You did that. They deserve it. No, he was with the young girl. You got to remember what the stuff comes from. The girl goes to Abdul Malik, one we call Halle Berry. Somebody told me she's big and fat now, like I'm supposed to. It don't have nothing to do with me, And so she tells Abdul Malik, everybody should notice, what's her name down there? Sure know it. They know it exactly. They didn't mention it to me. And that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. Well, I would like to marry Imam Musa, so would you go tell him that? So he tells her, shoot, Imam Musa wouldn't marry you because your pants is too hot up there on campus. He's telling her that that might be a plus. What I said was I wouldn't marry her mama. Her mama is white. And I told everybody in the meeting, because in those days, that's in the 80s, all the niggas was playing ball and was marrying white women. So I just said I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't care if I liked one. I wouldn't do it at that time. It don't mean now, because everybody is mixed and hag. You can't tell no one from another, right? This is a different time. But in that time, in the 80s, I told everybody in the masjid, we're all sitting there. The sisters there, the brothers is there, Hashim them is there. And Hashim said, I would not marry, you couldn't melt a black woman and pour her on me. Boy, that is, you talking about racist? Now you got to remember all them cutie pies over at Berkeley coming and asking me, Imam Musa, and they talking to other sisters, would you talk to Hashim for me? So we have a meeting. This is in a meeting in the masjid, up in the front. Hashim, a lot of people is talking about that. They got we got 10 lists. No, I mean a list, a lot of them. Because, see, Hashim is half Japanese and half Negro. So he's got what they used to call good hair, but a dark enough skin. He just got just enough so the people young girls like that look. You couldn't melt one of them niggas, one of them black women. And I was looking at all of them. I said, hey, just melt and pour on me then. You know, I mean, not really, but I was saying, this is what I said. This nigga is crazy. And every Iranian he married, this maybe on the second one, they would be the lighter, not the black hair, they would be the lighter Iranians. Maybe the hazel eye, they got some of that. This nigga's crazy. Okay, so that's what I was dealing with out there. So I told them, I didn't know till a little later on that he had told her, hey, Imam Musa won't marry you because you're too busy up here on campus. You know, sometimes those nice-looking women, they make themselves available because they want to be accepted. She got a white mama that's crazy, and she loved her daddy. He was pitch black, same as this right here. That was her daddy. Let me put up, that was her daddy. And she liked her daddy. And I ain't going to talk about nobody, but this woman was so crazy. She was in the masjid one day. They got a brother and they got another. One sister is pure white. So you know what she says about her? This is my daughter by a rape. And the daughter is standing right there. I said, this is the crackpots that was out there. Everybody out, now not everybody, but they are crackpots. And I'm saying, and I'm dealing with all of them. That's why all this stuff, Khadijah, them, Abdul Malik, them, Hashim, them niggas is crazy. I'm saying they're crazy. They was crazy then, and I just said, dog, man, they be tripping. That's the way I felt then, and that's the way I feel. I know it now. I'm sorry. They were just crackpots. Every way they put stuff together. And I talked to Abdul Malik and tried to urge him along, and he'd had that look. He'd be rolling his eyes, and I would be looking straight ahead, peripheral vision. I'm looking right in his face, and I said, good God Almighty, man, this is terrible. But I put up with it. Remember, I put up with it. And now, Khadijah, Abdul Malik, even Hashim, Alauddin. Hey, man, y'all get it together. If y'all need a good role model, that's what I do. I'll play that part. Because you can forget about your boss man breaking me down and I'm going to be broke and I'm going to be sad. That ain't even possible. Because nothing they got could affect that. When I say sleep under a bridge and stuff like that, I can do that. whenever I want to, whenever I get ready. That's where the freedom comes from, when you ain't worried about none of that. Y'all can't do nothing, and I'm praying for you. Okay, Khadijah beat up, Karima beat up all the white girls and the light girls. Okay, that's enough. God made them white and light and what people call pretty. They are not happier than you, Khadijah. Well, they probably are, because evidently you're unhappy because you running around. You build yourself up inside, then everything else will be fine. You can't run around, and I'll close. You can't run around looking at light people or skinny people and thinking them people is doing the best they can. Half of the skinny people eat food and then throw up, right? The bulimic, rex, all that. You're looking at the surface. Hey, I'm going to stop preaching to you. Hey, I like y'all. I feel just like I told you several years ago. I love you, but you got to straighten up. And as far as you going to do something to me, you ain't going to do nothing to me. Nothing. You got to get that in your mind. I'm not mad at you, but you can't do nothing. Y'all done had me drug out of the Masjid before, all this and that, and here I am, happy as a lark. Get up in the morning, walk around, have a good time. Okay. Akula kali hada wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum. I didn't mean to talk so long, but I hope this made a little sense. We're in a new stage. The stage is clear. That as we interact with other people, and this is an explosionary stage because it's necessary now. The world is not moving at the same speed it was, let's say, 10 years ago. It's been speeded up. We got a lot to do, and we feel like that Allah is going to put us in the right place at the right time to do what we need to do. Why not let's all go along together, fool the people. People think niggas can't do nothing, fool them. People think we can't do nothing but tell on each other and backbite and feel stupid and bad. Hey, you don't have to be that. If you're doing that, that's because you want to do it. You fear the future. You fear standing up. You fear taking a chance. White folks say it all day. You got to take a risk, right, in business. The bigger risk you take, the bigger chance you got to take a risk. Get on out on the limb and say the nigga can't be lying all the time. Maybe he's telling the truth. And until you build yourself up, put your confidence in something else. You never seen me lie, do this or do that. And don't tell nobody Imam Musa stole this and stole that. Hell, I raised the whole town up. Damn near the people, they're still talking about it now. They never had no East Oakland Enterprise, everybody buying people Cadillacs. You know, that's like buying people Benzes. Not little old teeny ones, but the biggest ones they got in those days. And everybody know it. So what are you telling people? You stole a little money. Ain't nobody, everybody know except the damn fool know that that's not correct and it ain't possible. Thank y'all very much. Akula kauli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Any questions or comments?
Brother said, a very deep well of knowledge and wisdom. We love you, brother Imam.
Alhamdulillah. Well, we're going to be getting around to that well because